Let me ask you something. When was the last time you had fun with drawing? Was it yesterday? Was it months ago? Was it years ago or even longer? Well, in my case, I had fun drawing not too long ago, but I had a time where I had no fun drawing for years, over years and over years. I worried so much about perspectives, about line art, about proportions, about accuracy. There was so much I worried about, which fully robbed me the fun of drawing, even though it didn't have to be that case. But how was I in this slump? How was I in this artist block for so long, for so many years? It was about 4 to 5 years, by the way. Well, for that I think we have to start by the point where I start to like drawing. All of this is unscripted, by the way, so I can just yap my heart out. But I started drawing when I was about 12 years old. I remember I was in classes and I just drew some me from the Wii era inspired character, whatever. I just made up with like swords and everything, with made up Japanese katana or whatever that was. I don't know. But it was not good. I can definitely tell it was not good. So much was off, so much was bad in it. I just did whatever in school and just drew. I didn't care about what I did, I just did it and I had fun with it. And I was like, wow, this thing I just did, for some reason I like it. For some reason I'm having fun while doing it. So by that age I thought like, hey, maybe I should draw more. So I did just that. So basically every time I had recess at school I just pulled up my paper and started drawing made up characters, cartoon characters or Son Goku for the 1000th time because I was such a big Dragon Ball fan at that age. And at some point these 1000 Son Gokus even started to collect through my classes because I started drawing through my classes and I just couldn't stop. That eventually got me interested and wanted to get better, so at around age 13 I started to watch YouTube tutorials at home and man, I copied everything I've seen. It didn't even matter what it exactly was. I watched a bunch of like how to draw L from Death Note or how to draw Son Goku from Dragon Ball tutorials, or I've just copied my favorite manga panels of my favorite manga. I just did it so much and man, the flow just couldn't get stopped at that point. And all of that kept on until the age of 15. I made improvements over time, which I was very proud of. I even showed them to my friends, like every single artwork I made. I showed them to my friends because I was just so proud of my work. And shortly after, I hit the stage which most people have suffered with throughout their lives, which is seeing your own flaws in your art. And don't get me wrong, it's good when you see your own flaws, that's when you see where you can improve, but what if you see more and more of your own flaws and less of what you do good? Well, you start to hate what you do. It didn't start big at first. At first I was just looking at like small mistakes I did that was just like, man, it's not good, but hey, I could still show it to my friends. And well, the problem is that stacked over and over time. And when I started to draw a picture, I was only looking at what I did wrong, and I started to do something which I shouldn't have done, which is throwing away what I have done. That is something I wish I didn't do, because I can look back at these pictures, I can look back at how far I've come at that part of my life, because I've just threw it away, and I just really wish I didn't, because man, these are still precious memories to me. That still is part of my life, and that's not something that you should just throw away. It's something that you can look back on and be proud of how far you've come, regardless of how many mistakes and flaws it has. But I wasn't thinking of these things at the time, I was just thinking of how bad I am as an artist. Especially when I opened up Instagram and seen other people my age drawing pictures way better than what I've ever created, and that was such a killer to me. I was thinking things like, man, these people are the same age as I am or even younger and they are drawing so much better. Man, why am I failing so bad? I wish I could just look back and say, bro, you're just 16. Calm down, bro. It's not that bad. There's still so much time to improve. There are people starting at the age of 40 and you surpass them at the age of 16. It's an endless cycle that will always and always repeat. Doesn't matter what age you're in. There are 80-year-olds looking back at 70-year-olds and thinking like, oh man, you're 70 and you draw so much better than I am, even though you're so much younger. Oh man, I wish I would have started to draw earlier, and man, I wish I would have started to draw like this and that when I was like 70. Oh, now I'm 80, man. It's so over. It's something I didn't know at the time. Another thing that added up over time was the fact that I just couldn't take compliments seriously. For example, just before I was telling about how I like to draw during recess. And people like to come by and compliment me actually, and that felt nice, but every time I got a compliment like, hey, your drawing is good, or hey, I wish I could draw like that, I was thinking like, well, that's because you don't know much about drawing and art, so you're just telling me that so you can make me feel better, but in actuality you don't think that, and why was I thinking that? I was really convinced that whatever they said just isn't true, because they either are not really familiar with a lot of art or they just want to make me feel better, but I never felt like any of the compliments were genuine, even though a lot of them probably were. But let's say even if they are not really familiar with art, or even if they want to make me feel better, what's so bad about it? It's meant to be positive, it's meant to make me smile. And just seeing it from this perspective is not really helpful. It's just a way to think negatively, and I just kept on the mindset, and boy was that unhealthy. So with my overly harsh self-critic and my inability to take any compliments, I had my motivation murdered and started to draw less and less and less. Until I was 19 years old. Until that point, after thinking that I only get worse and worse, I've not really considered it a hobby anymore. But when I was 19, I started reading a manga that was called Claymore, and wow, I really became a big fan of Claymore. I really enjoyed it, and there was a manga panel which just intrigued me. And I was thinking like, man, I really have the urge to do something which I haven't done in years, which is copying it and drawing it on my own. And wow, that has changed a lot. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was the feeling of using a pen again after so many years, after just forgetting what I want to do right and everything, but I have enjoyed it so much. So much. I was just sitting there for like 2 or 3 hours maybe, and I just couldn't stop. I just had so much fun doing it that I did it all in one sitting, and wow, that might be the biggest turning point in my art journey. Like, I liked it. I liked it. I had fun doing it. Yo! So the next thing I've done was buying a sketchbook, and I thought like, hey, I can just draw. I don't need to complete any pictures. I don't need to take care of any of my mistakes. I can just draw and have fun. So I started to draw a bunch of memes actually. And I think that's because memes are just there to make you laugh. It's just something to make you entertain. And I thought like, hey, with a meme, I don't really want to make it a good, perfect picture. I just want to have fun drawing it, and damn. I just kept doing it and I couldn't stop at that point. I thought like, man, I am having so much fun drawing again, which I haven't had in years. But even though I had so much fun in it, these are still the same hands that I've drawn during the time where I just had no fun drawing art, where I just hated it. But what has changed? Well, I might have given it away, but do you remember my first picture, me telling about how often bad I was? That was not something I cared about when I was 12. All I cared about was having fun. I didn't care about improving or just refining my skills and everything. While that can be also fun, I think that just took overhand, and that led me to hating my mistakes so much. Like, it's sad to see what has happened down the road, because I was just a 12-year-old kid who just had fun doing art, who kind of ruined it for himself. And I am hoping to reach a lot of people with this, who have struggled with the same issues and just can't enjoy their hobbies anymore because of minor mistakes, instead of just enjoying the journey. just seeing everything as a game, just trying to do whatever, just give your hands the motion it just wants to do. That was what broke the barrier to me. That was how I found fun in art again. And ever since, I just don't care if I produce any masterpieces or if everybody loves and everything. The most important thing to me is just that I enjoy it and that everybody watching me feel the same. Just look back at your first drawing and try to remember, what did you feel when drawing it? Were you hyper-analyzing your own mistakes? Did you take care of your proportions, of your perspectives, of the line art, of the coloring? Was that ever something important to you during that time? I would guess not, and maybe it's something that you need again. It's something that I needed for sure, and I'm sure that a lot of people would need it as well. And I'm hoping that we all get back to where we started, where art was fun.